Welcome back. You're still on to Journalists Hangout. Now, the current economic hardship in Nigeria can be likened to an emergency, which requires proactive measures to tame it. Some civil society organizations, CSOs, are lamenting over the ripple effect of investigation into the allegation of fraud that rocked the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management. Now, the Civil Society Council has blamed the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Presidency for the seeming silence over the suspended minister, Betta Edu, and the National Coordinator of the National Social Investment Program Agency, Halima Shehu. The group decries inactivity in the ministry, citing the stampede recorded in Lagos on the 23rd of February during the sale of subsidized rice by the Nigerian customs as a fallout. Or they called on the president to appoint a minister to take charge. And let's hear from the officials of the group.
Delivery of a vital humanitarian intervention by the President Bola Tinubu-led government through the Nigerian Customs Service in the sales of confiscated rice at giveaway price to caution the hardship caused by the soaring cost of essential food items in the country. The council is saddened that these good intended gestures of government witness unexpected casualties. The council equally observed the inactivities of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, which could be attributed to the scandal crisis that rocked the ministry, leading to the suspension of the former minister, Betta.
Right, BK, seeing the unfolding developments since the suspension of Betta Edu and the concerns that perhaps what happened in Lagos could have been managed if there was a minister. First off, what are your thoughts on this demand? And do you think there will be any change, or there could be any change whatsoever in the ministry?
I think it's a very valid demand that they've made. Since January 8 or so, when Betta Edu was suspended, there has been no update of any sort. Nigerians have been left in the limbo. Nobody is briefing us. We are now aware, we are hearing stories that there was a preliminary report, submitted to the president. We have no means of validating that claim, whether there was an interim report or whatever. But one thing is true. A time like this, when Nigerians are going through a lot, because things have worsened by way of inflation in our country since the time when it was suspended. The price at which we were buying goods and farm produce in January, first week of January, is not what we are buying it now. So the point I'm making is Nigerians need help now more than at any other time. And that is the job of that ministry. That ministry was designed for that purpose, to be the vehicle through which the ordinary Nigerians can be reached and their pains assuaged one way or another, either through palliative grains or other means of helping the people ease their pain. Now, what these guys are saying, we didn't get the whole story. I thought they will show us
the entire story.
The entire story. That's a Abida story. But our people, they can be up to their game sometimes, and you'll be wondering what's going on. Once you're in the studio, you can't go and do it for them. As we speak today, not less than 10 billion cash is locked down in that ministry. That kind of money will go a long way in easing the pains of our
Nigerians,
people.
Right?
Can buy grains, distribute to our people. And everyone knows about Betta's energy because before she contrived to put herself in the mess that she put herself. You know, when your gra is too much, you eventually find yourself in trouble. Betta was the minister. Halima Shehu was the CEO of NCPA. You are going to run NCPA. Whereas you are not the CEO, you are not the implementer of the goals of NCPA. You are just a minister. She had forgotten that her role is just the role of a minister. She became the CEO of NCPA, helping herself to the funds of NCPA, transferring NCPA funds. No minister, and I say it on live television, no minister has the right to dip his hands into the funds of his ministry and personally coordinate transfer of funds to private individuals. It was a strange thing to do. I give her credit for the, you know, she has energy, she moves around. But even that can put you in trouble because she didn't know where to stop. Got to the ministry, the PAMSEC that she inherited. These were people who were familiar with the workings of the ministry because it was a new ministry created in 2019 or so. You could have allowed the PAMSEC, for example, to show you the way. This is the way it's done, man. And the directors, in no time, they sent the PAMSEC packing. Started juggling directors here and there. I don't want to go into some of the things that I know about what transpired. You understand? But the point that we are making is that ministry needs somebody to be put in charge. We can't continue like this. That ministry should be the one that is leading the charge to ensure that our people's pains are assuaged.
Yeah.
It should be the ministry that stands in front.
The borderline.
Yes, this is where we are going. And they have the tools, they have the resources, they have warehouses all over the place, you know. They can make this happen. They've done it in the past. They've done conditional cash transfer. Many of us opposed it, but I'm happy that to an extent they discontinued
handout.
Physical handout of cash, and then the digitized part of the operations. We thought that would have continued before Betta, out of overzealousness, something that you could have been patient and let Nigerians reap the benefit of your energy, your hard work. You just allow things to get into your head. And that's why we come here, we tell them, look, you as a minister, this is not your work. You can't go, you are not the CEO of NCPA. You can't go there and be moving their funds to this place, going as far as even seeking permission to move funds to a private account. No, now, what's going on in our country? We know what the law says, but we deliberately go against the law. Now, the people are paying for it. President Tinubu needs to take a decision. We can't wait indefinitely.
Right.
You get my point?
Right.
And that is what those guys are saying. Appoint somebody in the interim. If you don't want either Halima and Betta Edu, that ministry is too important in a difficult time like this to just be left alone like that. No. Let's solve that problem. Update Nigerians on where we are going. You must run the government like a transparent one. We can't do things like they used to do it. Let Nigerians know that, okay, this This is a government for them. This is what we are doing. We have investigated these people, this person. This is our recommendation. If we want to recommend prosecution, go ahead and recommend it. Let's put a closure to that matter and put someone in charge who will now lead the charge to ensure that our people are helped out of the problem that they found themselves in.
Right. TA, your perspective on this matter, I presume you also share the same sentiments with
Well, I think we don't even have to go far.
Right.
In January, when the president set up, when the minister was removed, he set up a tripartite committee comprising the Minister for Finance and 3 other ministers to meet and recommend what should be done to the NCIPA. And he gave them 6 weeks within which to submit their report. This is March. January to March is about 10 weeks or 12 weeks. So the committee should have come out with a particular report and a recommendation to the president. And I want to believe that this president is not a kind of president that will get a white paper on something and put the white paper inside the locker, so that with the passage of time, the white paper will become a brown paper. So he let him act on the report, right, because he gave them 6 weeks within which to submit their report, about 4 ministries headed by the Minister for Finance. Let them come out with their report and give Nigerians an alternative, because this is the time that ministry is needed in the affairs of Nigeria. During the time of emergency, we are in a period of critical emergency in Nigeria. So before those people who are considered to be average become very unbearably poor, let us come to their aid with the activities of this ministry, especially with the money that is accruing to that ministry by every month when the money is released to a particular ministry. Let them use the money for a particular beneficial end. So by keeping silence, it could also mean consent. It could also give the public the impression that, like every other thing, it's about to be swept under the carpet, and Nigeria will just move on. Nigeria cannot afford to just move on like that. Right. Whatever happens, I don't believe any minister is bigger than the Nigeria. No minister is bigger than Nigeria. By the fact that the woman is a very young woman, she represents a particular gender, a particular age group in Nigeria that have been clamoring that they are out of government. Let Nigerians know whether this particular age group are prepared or not. And if she's not a proper representative, let somebody who's young element like her, let the president bring another young element so that to show, and that person will now show to the whole world that Nigerian youths are capable of leading a ministry that will impact the life of Nigerians.
Talking about recommendations already, there's one Dr. Adenike Tejuosho that has been put forward by a group of PWDs that she could perhaps take over from Betta Edu.
Well, I think recommendations should not be out of emotion. I think the President Tinubu has a way of selecting and appointing people into offices. Let anybody that is so recommended go through that particular process, by which the person will be deemed to fit into his own goal of making sure that there is better life for Nigerians. Not the better life we have in 1986, but better life for Nigerians this time around.
Indeed.